Alright, I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm just not gonna do lights in my face, so you're just gonna have to deal with a nice, peaceful evening. You shouldn't be looking at people's faces in the evening. Anyway, because dark is for the night to do the night. So get out of the light. Oh, yeah. So what? I'm just recording. I think in the past I have overthought recording and not felt authentic when I was recording for that reason. And now I am just pressing record while I'm just trying to be myself here. And I think that is going to be the more authentic video. But I really did want to press record so that I could talk about the crimes that the cops, the state police, and skippack were doing to tamper with the witnesses and obvious deprivation of rights under color of law for the whole thing. But like tampering, like more than that, there was really gang stalking behavior, and tampering with the witness was like they would come over and be like, come on, Doug, my stepdad, get that eviction, man. What are you doing? You know, just taking this brutalist, I will call it satanic approach that has been like trained into these cops' mentality, like through just private money, you guys. So like it's not of any fault of our own that they're like this, but they 100% were gang stalking, and tampering with the witnesses was just talking to my folks, and all the time, anytime they came over and spoke to my folks and said any kind of thing like, oh, those are crimes he's doing, like you could make statutory crimes out of behaviors basically. And it's like, yeah, but my parents love me so much, so they're like, to a certain degree, totally put up with everything, and then reached a point where they snapped. And that is the thing, that is the reoccurring thing that happens to people when you do shadow work with them. And as somebody who is just knows my worth, I'm not just going around giving everything out for free. So obviously when I went and started staying with my folks, like in the last 2 years, I perfected myself and told them that I have certain needs, some things need to change. I'm auditing the house. I'm like, I'm here, thank you for the space, but there cannot be like Wi-Fi on all the time. I can feel that stuff when I'm trying to sleep, and I'm like, no, you guys don't know about this, and I can barely show you all of the articles and stuff that tell you don't sleep with Wi-Fi on. But if you have ever been somebody who cares about your life or your health and were paying attention to anything, you would have noticed when some Wi-Fi was on and been like, oh, I don't feel as good as I feel outside in nature. Duh. Those are the kind of things that I'm saying, like, yo, and turning down the bright LEDs and stuff at night. Like, I'm using red light because I know the science, and that's the science. And if society is gonna continue to completely suck, why would we do that when we could change the light spectrum of people's headlights to something positive that you can shine like all night, like without bothering people's eyesight? Because driving on the road sucks at night because everyone's got the bright blue LEDs that like keep you up for a million hours after you've seen it for 2 seconds, basically, because it represents the full spectrum. And these are all things that I know why I don't just give away stuff for free. So I didn't come home after traveling the world to just be taken advantage of and assumed that I'm going to clean up the house and do all these things for them when I could leave at a moment's notice and go do something fun. And I'm like being responsible, and I got to take care of these folks as they age, and I got to prepare for all this. And like, they're just like, what are you doing? You can't change anything here. And basically that's their whole beef, I guess. That I'm just like, well, yeah, okay, I don't want to mess with your stuff, but like some stuff has to change. It's moldy in the basement, it's like rotting, and I'm like, well, I can smell the mold and it's like dangerous and we have to remove it. So then they're just like, no, you can't, because Doug's busy, and they're so busy, and they're just like, you can't do anything, because they don't trust me with anything, because they have their opinions and beliefs about me or the past or whatever. And it's not about that. I'm picking it up and improving myself. So if other people are not improving yourself around you, that is going to catch you up big time. Wow. And it does. And I did. And that is why it's not my fault. But these people generated fears and just like, it did them in to receive the full contract of what I am saying is that I don't give away myself for free. That is something like the contract clause that is like in the Constitution. There shall be no law enacted to obstruct the obligations of a contract. So a contract is anything. It's a secret. It's privacy. So knowing all this stuff, working with them was like, okay, you let me stay here, you're paying all the bills for me. They're very generous, not asking anything of me, because I keep saying, I will keep teaching you about nutrition. I will keep you strong in your old age. I will be here for you. I'm giving my services. And yeah, that's like morally what everyone says is like what you do for your family. But the reason we have family drama is because we feel taken advantage of. We feel like our certain needs and the consideration is not being given. And that is a thing that you can bring up like gently without saying you're an asshole. So law is just the way to say stuff politely. When you want to say someone's an asshole in law, the right thing to say is, you have somehow harmed me by thine ignorance. It has offended me to the point of detriment to my health, your ignorance. And I am charging you $300, and you need to pay me because I'm doing a good thing for society. And somebody pay me. Somebody pay me, for I hath done this good deed of complaining about these cops and how brutal they are and how stupid they are when it comes to life, the universe, the diversity, the world, inhabitants, human rights, the just tools that are supposed to be broken down to be of the Constitution, and they're not. They might think they know it and read it, but if they don't understand it and the implications it has on them of officers of that law, that constitutional law. So everything they're doing when they come up from coming over and saying, "Hey, you should get an eviction on him," that's tampering with a witness, because now they're bringing criminal charges. So they're bringing charges in this polite way that I'm describing. So I am bringing charges that are more serious, that are tampering with a witness, which is like a federal law against the Constitution. And most of these federal laws have state laws that are like the same thing. So I really do I'm encouraged to start in the lower, but some of this stuff I felt I needed to bring to the higher attention sooner, because that's just how I feel that it's important that this not go to waste, that somebody mention how stupid this is. And this isn't even stuff that's going on in the street. This is violence at people's homes done by police. And I guess everybody already knows about this. So, like, all the conscious people, all the smart people who study, even if it's YouTube, know that it's brutality. And you can have your opinion about it or whatever good these guys were. It's gangstalking. They were in my emails and stuff. They were like, people were intercepting emails, like, and they were just coming over and implanting all these ideas in my parents' head every time they visited without making an arrest, and then eventually saying that stop doing this or there'll be an arrest, which is just saying we're going to falsify charges, we're going to make something up, like, but instead they wait and pressured you until some moment that they were waiting for, that the people, the parents, used the option that the cops had seeded in their head, because they believed in the fantasy of the danger and the things they had implanted in my mom's mind. Like, oh, but other people have called and we have to take someone because other people have left. We left and then someone got murdered. And that is a scam. That is saying that we're not going to look into this situation to determine whether this is a real risk or not. We don't know anything about if this guy's a psychopath who's going to kill you or not. So we're just going to go ahead and assume that he is, and take him for your safety. And they're just like, what? We do not want to do any charges. We don't want to do that. They completely are going to... We are unified as a family, and we are preparing this document and these words that are these complaints that I have organized, basically, because when you listen to a person who's been wronged, they didn't want that to happen, they don't want the extra bullshit, then those complaints are very real, and you organize them and you send them into the courthouses where there's real people, and you give them some instructions like, hey, I'm really new to this, could you please help me just do some of these things to make sure these get through, and here's this other thing that I thought was cool, and you will get some cooperation and help. And if you're talking about like getting an attorney, like, no, like the courthouses are made of attorneys. They are full of attorneys, and everyone there knows legal stuff. So it's a guild, and if you interact with them as a human being, that's what correcting your status is really about. It's not about changing some stuff in some files or signing stuff differently. It's about assuming your identity is something benevolent and sharing with the system what your intentions are, what you'd like to see, and the problems that you see in society, and give me some money for doing this brilliant work for society. And do these things to stop these officers from committing harm when they need to investigate better. and not be so personally involved in stripping people of their rights. So I just thought I would come on here and kind of refine my message from the other night while I'm in a different mood and mindset. And yeah, I think it was good. So I'm going to just let the crickets and everybody go to sleep here and stop filling them with this noise. Get this camera out of my face, and we'll see you next time.